Another day. Actually, it's the same day because we're shooting all these Black Friday days in one day just to get them out on time for you all. But today, this video specifically, we are talking about the best deals when it comes to recovery. So we have things like cold plunges, saunas, and then a few kind of miscellaneous items that are going to help aid in your recovery. So if you are looking for the best deals when it comes to recovery of any sense, be sure to subscribe to this channel, watch this entire video, and then go ahead and visit GarageGymReviews.com because our editors, our writers are bringing you all of the most accurate, up-to-date deals from brands, from companies that we can find in order for our viewers to have the most accurate, best information in order to optimize their recovery, in order to optimize their own home gym space. The first one I want to talk about today, this is more of a budget-friendly option, okay? It is the cold pod. And I do have a full video review on this. One thing that I think is if you are somebody who isn't sure that you want to get into cold tubbing yet, you kind of want to like, quote unquote, dip your toe into the water, test out the water, see if cold tubbing is something that you enjoy, then don't spend a massive amount. Don't spend that $10,000 on a cold tub. Get something like this. This is the cold pod. So with the cold pod, their Black Friday deals is honestly kind of silly to me, but you're not spending a ton. All you are going to receive is an insulated, like aerospace, modern looking spaceship cover that is going to help insulate your tub more effectively, which is something that is needed when it comes to this tub because essentially there is very minimal insulation that surrounds it. So with this cold tub, they have a couple different options. They have the cold pod insulated ice bath tub. It has 85 gallons of water, or they have the cold pod insulated ice bathtub extra large, which is going to hold 116 gallons of water, or then they have the cold pod elite, which is going to hold 120 gallons of water. With the smallest options, it's only going to cost you $149, and then you are going to receive that insulated covering for free. With the extra large tub, you are going to go ahead and spend $189. Again, that free gift of that insulated covering. And then with their extra large, with their elite option, it's going to cost you $499. But the thing with this one is it is already a little bit more insulated than the previous models. So having that additional gift of that insulated covering is going to help keep your cold tub really cold. This is one that you are going to have to put ice in. It doesn't come with a chiller option, but for $150, I think that if you are somebody who's either like living in an apartment, moving around a lot, doesn't have that extra money to spend on like thousands for a cold tub, and with the addition of that insulated cover, $150 is really like no investment at all. And still you're going to get a good cold tubbing session as long as you have a ton of ice available to you. Okay, next one is the Echelon Smart Cold Plunge. This one you are going to have a massive amount of savings. So the regular cost point is $4,299. You are saving $2,300 on this cold tub. Your total being $1,999. This is an inflatable tub. You are going to have to inflate it yourself. When we went ahead and tested this, it was one that actually held its shape pretty decently. However, my call out to this is that it does have a large chiller. I mean, it is like double the size of most chillers that we see. Even though it does look kind of cool, it has this nice like light up X logo on it, which their treadmills have like a lot of like light integrated in with their design. So I think overall, Echelon does do a really good job of the appearance of their equipment, but you are going to have to inflate it. Along with the chiller, it does come with a 3-step sanitation process. You are going to have that 20 micron filter as well as an ozone purification system within that chiller, keeping your water ultra clean and then ultra cold. I will say that the chiller is a little bit louder than what we see with some other chillers that we have tested, so this isn't one that I would necessarily want to keep inside, but it is rated for indoor and outdoor use. Now, this isn't a hot tub, cold tub, but it is a cold tub specifically, and it gets down to a low 36 degrees, making your water ultra, ultra cold. Again, it does a great job of functioning. We had no issues with the chiller. My only like kind of one call out, something to keep in mind is the chiller, when it does kick on, is a little bit louder than other ones that we have tested. Okay, next is the home plunge. We just tested this. We don't have a full video review on it yet, but I'm very excited about this. With their Black Friday sales, you are going to receive $599 off. So just go to their website, click access sale, and it's going to bring you to that page. Essentially what this is one that you can use in your bathtub. So you don't have to have a separate tub in order to use this. You essentially just have a chiller that's going to run into your bathtub, fill up your bathtub, and then it's going to drop that temperature really quickly. It's pretty small, it's pretty compact, so when it's not in use, you can easily store it out of the way. With this home plunge, it's going to go ahead and get your water down to a balmy 34 degrees. Not one that I would set my temperature at, but if you are looking for a true cold tub experience, it is going to make your water very, very cold. It is like a 5-minute setup. There's no plumbing required. You just have to have a standard 110 volt outlet in order to use this. The entire cost on this right now is $2,999, but again, you can go ahead and access that sale, bringing it down $500 off of your entire purchase. In terms of its warranty, it does come with a 1-year warranty, and then also it has free shipping as well. I actually love the design of this. I think that it is really modern. I think that it's cool. It almost looks like a robot kind of, but I think that it is a great design. Again, it only is 2 feet by 2 feet, the entire chiller, so it's not going to take up a ton of space. It comes with this like really nice bendable hose that's going to contour around your bath really easily, and then it cools your water down really, really quickly. Okay, so now moving on to the ice barrel. I actually had the ice barrel for probably a year and a half before we went ahead and brought out one of my favorite cold tubs, the Plunge All-In, which we are going to get to. But when you go ahead and go to the Ice Barrel website, you're going to receive 10% off of any of your purchase, whether that's the Ice Barrel 300, 400, or 500. Okay, so with the 300, you are going to receive actually 30% off, costing you only $1,399. With the 400, you are also going to receive a massive discount. Your entire ice bath is going to cost you $1,049. And then with the Ice Barrel 500, you are going to have a massive savings of 30% off and costing you $1,749 and then 99 cents. I forgot to say, all of them include 99 cents on that. I actually had the Ice Barrel 400 for a really long time. It comes with a step stool. You are going to have to put ice in it manually, but it does have pretty thick insulated walls. Even during the summer heat, the humid summer of the Midwest, as long as we put ice in it, we were able to keep that water pretty fairly cold, around 45 degrees for our sessions. Now, obviously, every time we wanted to use the cold tub, we had to re-buy ice, but it was able to be kept outside under our porch. It did allow us to invite lots of friends over in order to use it. Even though it does look kind of small, it's this nice vertical design. We had my brother-in-law, who is like 6'4", still be able to fully submerge himself in the water, like fully, with his head under and everything. So it might look like a smaller option, but I promise you, lots of people will be able to use this. With the 300, you do have the ability to connect a chiller to this cold tub. So it's still that great design that the 400 has, but you are going to be able to connect that chiller with it. It's fully insulated, so you can use ice, or you can go ahead and purchase the chiller and use the chiller with it as well. It is that vertical design, allowing a lot of people to fully submerge their shoulders, their head while they are using it. The entire thing holds 77 gallons of water. It says that it fits most body types up to 6 feet, but again, we went ahead and tested it with the 400, and we found that taller users could still fully submerge their body, even though they probably were a little scrunched in it in terms of space. Okay, and then with this Ice Barrel 500, again, 30% off the entire thing. It is that upright vertical design, which is something that I really love. And it does hold a lot more water than the other two designs, so holding 94 gallons of water. It is easy to move. So the entire thing only weighs 104 pounds when emptied. So this is definitely something that you can move around from place to place. In fact, we moved our ice barrel around a lot depending on kind of where we wanted to use it during what season. Essentially, there is no sort of setup setup required. And then there are chiller ports available. So if you want to go ahead and purchase one of their chillers in addition to this ice barrel, you can go ahead and connect the chiller to that as well. All right, next is one from Energize. This is also an inflatable design tub. You are going to save a massive amount with their Black Friday sales. So the tub is normally $490. It is almost half that cost. Not quite half. Don't math my math right now, okay? But it is $2,990 with their Black Friday sales. Couple things I like about this. This is a hot tub as well as a cold tub. So you are able to get your temperature down to 37 degrees as well as up to a hot 104 degrees. So you can use it both, again, cold tub and a hot tub function. It has a 4-step filtration process. Just make sure that you are changing the filter on your chiller fairly often, especially if you are somebody who uses your cold tub quite frequently. Go ahead and just check that filtration quite frequently in order to keep your water crystal clear. Another thing that I like about this is it's a compact design. The entire thing is 4 feet and then it has 30 inches of depth when the water is fully filled up. It is also available to have app control. So you can either set your temperature on your chiller or go ahead and download the Energize app and set your temperature that way. So let's say at work, you know you want to cold tub later, you can set your desired temperature. And on the website, it does say that it takes about 2.5 hours in order to fully change the temperature. I would give yourself a little bit longer just to be sure, especially if you keep it outside. Your ambient temperature is maybe like 90 degrees. It is going to take a little bit longer in order to reach that low 37 degrees. In terms of the chiller noise, this is one that isn't overly loud. The website says it's about 65 decibels when the chiller is active. I would probably agree with that, but it's probably not one that I would want to keep inside if I was in the house, because you are going to hear the chiller kick on and off when it is running. Another benefit to an inflatable design is that it is easy to move around. The entire chiller only weighs 85 pounds, and then essentially the tub itself, when it is completely deflated, weighs about 15 pounds. So very easy to store out of the way when you don't want to use it, and then also easy to move around. Okay, so one of my favorite tubs, I would say probably my top 3 favorite tubs that I have ever tested, is from Nordic Wave. And with their Black Friday deals, you are going to receive $1,500 off all of their cold tubs and then an additional 30% off any accessory you buy from the website. Okay, so they have a couple different options. You have this Viking extra large cold tub where you are going to only spend $7,499. You have their hybrid model, which is going to cost you $4,999, or then their premier model, which is going to cost you $5,999. With all of their tubs, they come in 3 different colors. You have this charcoal gray, you have this slate blue, as well as this Arctic white tub coloring. There are 2 different options of chillers that you can go ahead and purchase. So they have the Pro chiller, or they also have the Elite chiller. It really just depends on what type of horsepower you're looking for your chiller to determine which one you want to go with. So if I am choosing the Viking Premier Cold Tub and I am choosing the Chiller Type Pro, what that is going to mean is that the entire tub is only going to weigh 60 pounds when it is not filled with water. With the Pro chiller, you are going to get to low temps of 35 degrees, as well as with the Elite chiller, you are also going to get to low temps of 35 degrees. Oh my gosh, I'm on their website. Look at me on their website. Guys, I'm serious. I love this cold tub. It is really easy to get into. It is really well insulated. I like that I can fully submerge my body. Not only that, but people up to like 6'4" here at our warehouse have tested it. We all agree this is one of our favorite vertically designed cold tubs. It is well insulated. The chiller runs super smoothly. The water stays really crystal clear, really cold, and then it has a nice heavy lid. It doesn't have a locking lid, which is something that I really like with kids running around, but because of the weight of the lid, it is going to discourage little kids with zero muscles from lifting it off of the cold tub itself. Another thing is you can go ahead and set your water temperature from the chiller itself or from the app as well. So again, you have that app control that you are able to use in conjunction with your cold tub. All right, so moving on to some saunas. I love a Heavenly Heat sauna. There's quite a lot that they have to offer. One of my favorites is their 2-person infrared sauna. My parents actually have this sauna and they love it. They keep it in their garage. Their only complaint is during their winter, because it only uses a 110 volt standard outlet, which is a benefit and then also a negative. It does take a little bit longer to heat up during the colder months, whereas opposed to if the ambient temperature is 90 degrees, 80 degrees in their garage, it's going to heat up a lot quicker. And also for GGR users, for GGR viewers, we have a code for you. The code is GGR, and that's going to save you an extra amount of money when you go ahead and purchase one of these saunas. If you go to the website, you will be able to see that you are going to save about $2,000 off of each of their sauna. So normally their 2-person infrared sauna is going to cost you $7,400. Right now it is on sale for $5,999. One of the things I love about this infrared sauna is that it's going to heat up to a massive 165 degrees, which is not typical for an infrared sauna. Most of the time we see around 140 to 150 in terms of its highest temperature. Not with Heavenly Heat. The other thing I like about this is that it's made from pure Canadian hemlock, which is like a super great low odor sauna. So a lot of the times with an infrared sauna, sometimes they'll bring cedar in. It is a strong aroma. That is not the case with this. It also offers a very low EMF and then ELF rating because they don't use any sort of glue. They don't use any sort of toxic material within the build of their saunas. Another one to look out for from Heavenly Heat is their 2-person red light infrared sauna. So normally costing you over $10,000. However, because of that massive sale that Heavenly Heat is offering, as well as the additional code that GGR is giving you, then you are only going to spend $7,599. This is their full infrared sauna with addition of red light therapy. And just like their other model, it's going to heat up to 165 degrees. It's going to offer that far infrared, that red light therapy, and then that full spectrum heat all in one unit. Again, this is a benefit and then maybe a negative. You don't have to have an electrician come out and do a dedicated 220 or a dedicated outlet in order to use this sauna. You can just use your standard household outlet. Okay, so going on to Plunge, there are 2 products from Plunge that I absolutely love. It is their Plunge all-in-one cold tub as well as their Plunge mini sauna. I have been able to test out both. I actually have the all-in-one Plunge at my home. You are going to receive 20% off all of the Plunge saunas as well as 25% off all of their cold plunges. So with the all-in-one, it is normally going to cost you around $10,000. However, with their Black Friday sales, it is only going to cost you $7,490. This is a very large all-in-one tub that has an integrated chiller of a 1-horsepower chiller, a 3-step sanitation process. It's going to get to low temps of 37 degrees, which keeps your water like brutally cold. And then it also has this nice slanted back design, which is going to allow even taller users to fully submerge their body within that cold tub. Now, moving on to their sauna, they have the sauna or they have the sauna mini. I think that most people would choose the sauna mini just because it isn't going to take up a ton of space, but it has 2 different level options. So you can actually fit more than like 2 to 3 people within that sauna. I like the design of all of the Plunge saunas. It's going to heat up to a massive 210 degrees. However, when we actually tested it, it got closer to about 220. So that sauna stayed ultra hot. It heated up very quickly. The other thing is with all the Plunge products, you can also go ahead and set your temperature on your sauna, or you can download their app and set your sauna that way. Another great option if you are looking for a true outdoor sauna is the Redwood saunas. This is one of the first saunas that I ever tested, and I begged and I pleaded to take this one home, but alas, they shot me down. This one is incredible, but not only that, they have a ton of different like barrel options, which I am a huge fan of an outdoor barrel design. With Redwood Outdoor, if you go ahead and choose their bundle option, then you are going to receive $1,000 off of that bundle. So a couple different ones that I really like is their Vista Outdoor Sauna plus Denali Cold Plunge, normally costing you $15,298, now costing you $14,598. You can choose a couple different options. So you can do their standard model, you can do their Wi-Fi mode, you can do their standard model unstained. Some of that is going to determine the cost point, but if we just do their standard model that has a nice protective stain on it, it's going to be closer to that $14,000 mark. All of their saunas include the Havari heater, and so it's a really good quality heater. I think it's actually a Swedish heater. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it is essentially all these hot stones compacted within that heat system, and it's going to heat up your sauna in basically no time at all. Okay, another cold plunge that I really love, and we do have a full video review on this. We actually took this one out to my property, which just felt like absolutely magical to be able to set this in the middle of the woods. Go ahead and use this cold tub. It kept incredibly cold, and it is a well-insulated design with a lockable lid, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I love a lockable lid. But not only that, this is a huge sauna. It looks like a Yeti tub. Like, you could easily fit probably 4 people in it. Maybe not if you're like a linebacker, but 4 Lindsay-sized people can easily fit in this cold tub at once. Another thing that I really like about this is that it only actually comes with a 1/4 horsepower chiller, which some people say like, no, I want a full horsepower. But because of the well-insulated design of this cold tub, you don't need a full horsepower chiller because of that well insulation on the cold tub itself. So you are essentially saving a ton of money with that electrical cost because your chiller isn't going to have to work as hard in order to keep that water cold. They have a couple different color options. So they have like their tan option, they have a gray option, as well as a black option. And again, this looks just like a rugged Yeti cooler, but I actually like this if you don't like the modern design of something like a Plunge offers. With this tub, it is going to go ahead and get to a low 39 degrees. All in all, I have 0 complaints about this tub. It is absolutely one of my favorites. And normally it's going to cost you $3,800. You are going to save $500 off of your purchase. Now costing you $3,300. Okay, if you have stayed around this long, like, you are amazing and you must be really into recovery, or you just like hearing my voice. I don't know which one, but we have one left for you, and that is from Sunhome. I love all Sunhome products. There is a ton of saunas. There is a ton of cold tubs that I have tested. I actually have one of these saunas at my house right now, but I'm going to name 3 products really quickly that you should definitely check out. It is their Sunhome Cold Plunge. You are going to save $800 off, so it's going to cost you now $13,799. If you like a true ice bath experience, this thing gets down to a low 32 degrees, actually creating ice within that bath. It's also have like this defrost mechanism, so as the ice collects on the side of the tubs, it's going to naturally break up that ice, and you're going to have the ice floating at the top. Not only that, but it looks really cool. It functions really well. It's that all-in-one design. The other sauna that I want to mention from Sunhome is the one that I have at my house. It is their indoor-outdoor sauna. It is the Lumineer, and they have a couple different options. So you have this 5-person sauna or this 2-person sauna. If you choose the 2-person sauna, your normal cost is around $11,500. You're going to save an additional $500, making your total cost around $10,500. This one is a great indoor and outdoor option. It heats up to 165 degrees, delivering that full, that mid, and that far infrared heat wavelengths within your sauna. It's incredibly comfortable. It comes with quality speakers, and overall, it looks really, really nice. The last one that I'm going to mention today is the indoor full spectrum infrared sauna from Sunhome, and it is their Eclipse sauna. Guys, this one is probably my favorite sauna. In terms of like an infrared sauna, if I had the available space as an indoor sauna, I would 100% choose this one. You are also going to receive $800 off of your purchase of this sauna. It comes with far, near, and then mid infrared wavelengths. It also comes with red light therapy integrated within the sauna. And in terms of the comfortability of this sauna, this is easily one of the most comfortable and also easily assembled saunas that we have ever done. All in all, there are some really good deals on recovery options. If you want more information, please go to GarageGymReviews.com, because again, we have more listed and more deals available to you there, more than the ones that I have talked about today. But if I'm going to choose a cold tub at a high cost point, I'm going to go with a Plunge all-in. If I'm going to choose a cold tub at a mid cost point, I'm going to go with a Desert Plunge. And if I just want to experience what cold tubbing is all about, I would choose the Cold Pod. Now, in terms of saunas, if I want a true outdoor sauna, I'm going to go with a barrel design from Redwood. If I want an infrared sauna, I am absolutely choosing the Eclipse from Sunhome. I love all of these options, but let us know if you have a sauna, if you have a cold tub, or if you are looking one for Black Friday, which one are you looking into? This has been Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Peace.